William Byron likes them short and sweet. Penske dominates Atlanta qualifying. And with the surface already weathering in 4 years, what is the future for Atlanta Motor Speedway? Welcome back to the Breaking Bob channel. I'm currently on the floor of my in-laws' extra bedroom. It's a temporary studio this weekend as we're on location, so bear with me, but can't say I'm not committed to y'all in the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I am always talking NASCAR and racing on a daily basis, and it is Atlanta weekend. Race number 2 of the 2025 season is here. And before we jump into it, we got a little pop culture for NASCAR. What started out as a rumor, William Byron is going along with it. He is shooting his shot at pop star Sabrina Carpenter. Could we see Carpenter back at the NASCAR track? She was there in the early 2010s when her career was just taking off, but now as one of the biggest pop stars in the world, William Byron is trying to become the Travis Kelce, I guess, of the NASCAR world. I hope Miss Carpenter likes Legos and iRacing because that is what William Byron's ideal date sounds like on a Thursday night. All right, before we turn into real TMZ, let's get into the actual on-track action because NASCAR qualifying from Atlanta just wrapped up this Saturday morning a few minutes ago, and we've got a lot to jump into. And it wasn't on your Fox channels. This was the debut of Amazon's streaming coverage of NASCAR's practice and qualifying, although you really didn't get to see a ton of what Amazon is going to bring to the channel this summer with their streaming contract with NASCAR. Still was using the Fox broadcasting booth, most of the Fox graphics, although they didn't use the cartoons. Congratulations, Amazon. You're already doing better than Fox. Still using the Ghost car, though. I wish we would go back to the old school, early 2000s Fox scorebug where it had the long, scorecard there with all the drivers and their times, and it had the pin where the driver currently was on going up and down live where they were going to be on the score track. I thought that was the best way to do it. What do I know? As for the actual qualifying in Atlanta today, though, in the top 10 for the final group, 9 of those top 10 were the Blue Oval Fords and Team Penske showing raw speed once again this week, although happy anniversary to the Joey Logano illegal glove that got him the pole at Daytona last year. Penske did not need any sort of artificial thing like that this year. They went 1, 2, 3, 4 if you count Josh Berry as their satellite team with the Wood brothers in qualifying today at Atlanta, dominating the drafting style reconfiguration. Again, 9 out of the 10 final grouping qualifying were Ford, so they showed some speed. Kyle Busch, the lone non-blue oval there, as he finished 3rd last year in that 3-headed finish in the spring race. Could we see Kyle Busch potentially finally get back into the victory lane circle? He didn't win it last year. That was the closest chance he had, little did we know. But at least he had some of the fastest non-Ford speed and qualifying pace today. Ryan Blaney on pole, though, and it just seems like Ryan Blaney is so comfortable in his skin heading into 2025. The Penske lineup is absolutely stacked, especially on drafting track. And you had Joe Logano, the defending Cup champion for Penske, for the fastest time in the first qualifying session, though Blaney topped him just at the end there. Something that jumps out to me, though, where was the Toyota qualifying speed we saw at Daytona last week? Not a single car made it into the top 10 at Atlanta on what should be a similar style setup, but maybe they're setting more for the downforce in race trim. But it is something notable when someone like Denny Hamlin is in the mid-30s there. Can't take too much into it like an oval track qualifying because, again, there's going to be a lot more downforce on these cars tomorrow, but it is interesting to see that Ford just completely waxing the field when it looked like last week the gap might have been shortened. And of course, I touched on it, but the coverage today was on Amazon instead of Fox for practice and qualifying, although just qualifying today. That's right, Amazon worker Clint Boyer. No, it's just temporary. I promise Dale Jr. will be there in the summer. But I thought the streaming quality of Amazon was good. Again, yes, it is the Fox broadcast for the most part, but let me know your thoughts down below. Are you excited to see what Amazon does for the streaming world of NASCAR? And I thought this was a very interesting point by Jeff Gluck. Mike Joy, the head of Fox Sports' broadcast team for NASCAR, he ushered in NASCAR into the broadcast world nationally in the 2000s, and now he was the first voice on the streaming side of NASCAR. So I thought that was a very cool point there by Jeff Gluck. And one other notable storyline before the trucks and Xfinity go green today, the weathering on the track, it seems like has just really fast forwarded in the offseason. Their drivers showed up this year really surprised at how the track had changed. This track was reconfigured in 2021 as fans and drivers both were very vocal in keeping it the same, but it could be something that changes Atlanta for the better. Right now it produces drafting style races, but with the weathering in Atlanta, you have over 120 degrees in the summer consistently baking that pavement. Plus, in the winter, it does get cold enough to where it can freeze. So you're going to see that weathering, I think, even more dramatically than a lot of other tracks. And what does that look like in 5 years? That's my question. Will we have the same drafting style, racing at Atlanta, or will it start to delve back into what we saw in the 2000s, the 2010s, where drivers, it is all about car control. It is all about the actual driver's skill and not just, well, can you get a draft? Can you keep it in pace? But I think that's something to note watching this race moving forward for the future of Atlanta. Again, the trucks and Xfinity go green today, and the Cup Series goes green tomorrow at 2 p.m. on Fox. Stay tuned for more coverage on Breaking Bob throughout the weekend and week as the season progresses. If you like what you saw, like this video. It helps me out a ton here at Breaking Bob. Subscribe to the channel for more NASCAR content, and I'll see you soon. I got to get out of here before my in-laws figure out I'm missing.